Hey guys, so this video is about purchasing power and specifically about purchasing power in the land business. So that word or that term purchasing power is something that from a previous business that I was in, and this one very successful entrepreneur, in the Chicagoland area that I met a few years ago. I actually visited their business and their entire business. So I learned this concept from him. And basically what it was is what they do is they're a liquidation company. So they work with brands like, whole like retailers like JC Penney or, whatever, Macy's. And what they do is they buy all their liquidation or their clearance stuff. And the thing is, they've been in business for about 40 to 50 years now. And I think they're a second or third generation. They're a second or third generation company now. And what he was telling me was that the way that they compete, when they go to buy inventory, is purchasing power. So he said it's like he flexed. I don't know what he said, but he basically was telling me that when he goes into buying this inventory, there's not that many other people that can come up with the cash or buy it in the high volumes that they purchase. So when they're able to do that, what happens is, the unit cost or whatever of these retail products that they're buying, they're able to get them for a much lower price simply because they have the ability to just have that capital, the financing. So I thought that was really fascinating because the same thing that another liquidation company might be able to purchase, but they'll end up paying a lot more. But these guys come in there and say, hey, we'll take everything. We'll take the whole, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of units, and they'll say we'll buy them for cash. And that's where they make their spread and their margin. So I thought it was a really fascinating model, and I've tried to apply that to the land business. And the way we've done that is whenever, if possible, if we can buy someone's entire like wholesale list or their inventory, often they'll cut us a break because then they don't have to go piece it out one by one and deal with 20 people. They can come to us, and if it's a good enough deal with a good enough price, we'll buy the list. So purchasing power, that's something that I learned from my previous mentor, and it can be applied even if you have a seller of land that has multiple properties. If you're like, hey, let's package this whole thing, it can be incredibly powerful. And it was a very valuable lesson that I learned from this liquidation retail business, because what they would do is they had a liquidation company where they would buy all these, tens of thousands of units of products, and then they would wholesale it out to other smaller companies or retailers. And then they also had their own retail chain, so they had their distribution set up. So I thought it was a pretty interesting lesson that I took from a previous business and applied it to this one. But yeah, that's what I'd say. Purchasing power, however you can increase it, whether it's your own or some of the other land guys who are raising capital, that's a great way to do that.